Hi everyone, my name is CommanderBloop and welcome to a quick little replay review I'm doing for somebody. So this is probably not really going to be cut up very much just because I want to give this person as much raw footage as possible. So here we go. What do we got here? Okay. I don't really see anything wrong with this cheat up. However, this ball is kind of questionable to challenge in my eyes. The main reason for this being is because I don't know what happened to that boost there, but in these situations, especially if your teammate's not completely back yet, it's sort of risky, especially when it looks like he's going up for it. So in this situation, I would probably play more middle, just because your teammate's already there, he's jumping for it. And especially your rank, which is around C3, low GC1, I assume I wouldn't go for this. If your teammate's already jumping, just play back. There's no need to rush this. Just play back, play patient. Your teammate notices you, so he pulls off, which is good. I mean, failed mechanic, nothing wrong with that. So right here, what I noticed is you don't go for a bump here, which instead of recovering off the backboard like you did here, instead of going bang, recovery into the net, this guy right here, he's out of the play right now. He's getting boost. This guy right here, he is the only threat that you have on the ball. So I think the better option here is just to bump this guy. It gives your teammate a 1v1. You're still rotating back, and it doesn't really compromise your defense as much because this guy's out of the play. The only guy that's in it is this guy. So you get a bump, your teammate gets a free 1v1, which might lead to a free easy goal. Alright, another issue here. Do not rotate into the middle of your net. Like, ever. Unless it's an absolute emergency, do not. Main reason for this being... let's go out to free cam again. It leaves this entire side. Look at how much of the net you left open. If instead of going that, you came to this side, you have 18 boost right now. You could have gotten 36 more boost if you just went along this mini route and then sat back post. Your goal is going to be better defended here. Your teammate's currently in front of you right now, which is okay. And as soon as he rotates behind you, which he does, you can go. You're free to go. You can put a challenge in on that ball with no issue. There shouldn't be pretty much any chance of it going in your net here. That gets hit over you because of that. Again, right here, just take your time. You had a pretty bad flip here. I would have flipped to the right so it pinched it off of the corner of the wall. This kind of just left it in the middle. That boost rotation was a little bold just because it left your teammate kind of in a 1v2. This is your teammate's ball. You should not be taking this. It's his ball. You just cut him. Go back, play your second man. You cut him completely for this. That was just unnecessary. Yeah, and you guys got scored on because it left him with no boost. It left him in a bad spot because that guy was already challenging you. If you instead here, if you just played around here after your teammate went for it, if you just played around here, that wouldn't be in your net. That is 110% your teammate's ball right there. All right. A little slow on the kickoff here for cheating up. I would speed it up just a touch. Main reason for this being if the other guy's faster than you and it's a dead kickoff, it's going to get blasted over you. You're better off going a little faster here. Very rarely are you going to get scored on because you go a little faster. This isn't to say absolutely ape it on kickoff. This is more so to say go a little faster. You might get some more free goals out of it or free possession off the start. I don't think this is your best option. I wouldn't have caught it and flicked. I think an aerial was definitely the play, but I think you should have probably done it a little more towards the backboard. This kind of gave him an easy save. Either that or shoot it to the bottom right. Because you got to figure, that guy just went for kickoff. You took his boost. That guy has no boost. He's defending in an awkward spot. That is a terrible spot to defend. If you shoot it bottom right corner there, I guarantee it goes in. Like 99% of the time, he's not going to be able to get to it. Even if you shoot like the right side of the goal there, he's going to have a very, very hard time getting to it. Just because that's such a poor defensive position. It doesn't, because your ground stops. You've got to figure you can't drive any further. You're just going to be stuck boosting. And just for your momentum there. I wouldn't have done this play here. So instead here, I think what the ideal play was in my mind is you have the ball. You and your teammate don't really have much boost. Take the ball back with you. Just keep possession of this. You're kind of just throwing up the ball here in a pointless play. It doesn't benefit you guys in any ways. You guys lost possession there anyways. Just take it back to your corner and get some boost. Go make another play on the ball. Not a huge thing, just a small thing. Teammate had a great play there. Your teammate had a great play there. Okay, see, actually, yeah, your teammate's actually kind of a pretty good example of this. So you see what I mean by go a little faster? He didn't go super fast, but he was up there. He was active. He was being active. He got to the ball. That's sort of what I'm talking about. You just want to be that little bit faster. That'll help you. Here we control the wall. Again, same thing. Watch where you're going on defense. This guy's dribbling the ball, right? Your team is behind him. He's going for a demo or a bump. That's great. Don't sit here. Still, you want to sit around your net. You want to sit that back post. Because if this guy gets a nice scoop off the wall here, off your backboard here, let me point it out real quick. If this guy gets a hit off the wall right here, his teammate's here. His teammate's here. If he hits it past you, that's in your net. You should be sitting at still back post somewhere around this area. If it gets close, that's when you challenge. But your teammate's here, he's chasing a demo, just let him do that. He's not rotating back yet. Play defensive. You do not need to attack here. There's no reason to. It's in the safest spot for your team, which is in your corner. That position is basically unscorable 99% of the time. It's hard to score there. See? Right there. It just got thrown away to middle. If you would just waited a little bit, you'd have been able to take a little more possession, take it up a wall, go for an aerial play. Something else that doesn't throw it to the other team. Something that's very, very important here. Let's see what we got here. Again, keep an eye on your teammates. Keeping an eye on your teammates is huge. See? He's cutting back in. You shouldn't be... As much as he should probably be rotating back, just let him go. Yeah, there's no point. You guys probably got scored on because of this, because you committed. I could see both sides of this. He's like, okay, you know what? I'm up. I'm gonna force a flick for my teammate. That should be a very, very easy receive for you. I could also see your side of you know, I gotta go for this because my teammate has low boost. Just pay attention to your teammates, right? See what he's doing. If he's cutting back in for it, turn around. There's no point in going for this. You see he turns midfield. Just let him do his thing. You're trying to play too much of a solo game when it's a team game. It's not working out for you. Okay, so your speed flipping here. Your speed flipping is good. You just got to go slightly earlier. Slightly earlier, more towards the center of the ball. That would win you your kickoffs. See, we can watch this guy here. See? He turns away a little, and he hits that center bit of the ball. That's why you lost the kickoff. He turns to the right, hits the center of the ball. That's why you lost that. Not a huge deal. Oh, you guys did get scored off of it. That's rough. Anyways. It's fine. Again, pay attention to where your teammate's going. I can hear him going to your left. Just go to your back corner, get some boost, get mini pads, whatever you gotta do. Good attempt on a possession play here. I like that. So I think you played this very well. Your catch was bad, but your idea was good. But however, I think instead of doing what you did here, which was kind of kind of like it looks like you got scared and you panicked a little bit. Just wait. Just wait. It worked out for you here, but most of the time people are going to be able to 50 you on this. And if you panic like that, you're going to lose possession every time. It's going to flank to your right here. You just got extremely fortunate. That guy 100% should have had that on you. You just gotta play your time. You're in a 1v1. Actually, you're in a 1v2. Just take your time. You don't need to rush. This is okay if you called it. If you called it, I'm okay with it. If it was silent comms, it's kind of a little more 50-50. That's just a poor shot, really. I still think you should have cheated up here, but that's just a poor shot. That's okay. Okay, right here. That's fine. You missed the goal. Whatever. Do not rotate towards the ball. Rotate to the left. You do not want ball side rotations. This is just going to put you in an awkward position because now you can't play off your teammate's hit. If you went to the right, grabbed mini pads, you'd be roughly probably around 60 boost. You would just be able to jump for this. Like let's look. So instead, so teammate hits this, goes up the wall. You go. If you rotate this way, you're going to be a pretty solid amount of boost. You're going to be playing defensive, which if your teammate loses, that's what he needs. Your teammate should not be here. Realistically, it's just not a great spot. So if you just played mini pads, like you cut back this way, you'd be able to challenge this. You'd be able to. But you just went the wrong way. Unfortunate, but it's true. In this position, you see your teammate going behind you. Try to force the flick a little more. Again, you're playing like it's ones. You got to remember you still have a teammate on the field. You want to make sure that you force this flick a little earlier to reduce the risk of you going in your net, because that could have been very bad. If he had a good flick there, it was probably in. Force your flick, let your teammate play some defense. There's no big, not a huge thing in that play. I don't think it was horrible. It's just a thing to keep in mind. Again, just I'm gonna stop calling it out after this. But again, back post rotations are huge. Like this is a gold position. You're in Champ 3. You should not be doing this. You should be back post defending by now. Like, yeah, your teammate went in a weird spot. I get that. But you're still leaving the entire left side of your goal open. Like, it's going to be so much harder to defend that left side because you're facing right. Versus if you're back post, you're looking at the whole thing. It's going to be hard for them to get it in there while you're back post. Impossible? No. A lot harder, yes. It's a respectable pass. I like that. I don't hate that play at all. Patience. You don't need to rush this. It's in your corner. Play time. You don't need to rush that. Yeah. This is a good spot you're in. I like that. Played a little too quick. Slow down. Let your teammate play. Read his ball. You just went too fast here. You got too eager. Slow it down. That was a free goal. Like, especially right here. I don't hate your positioning. I really don't. I think you had the right idea. But you got to remember, if your teammate's on the left side of the field, you want to be somewhere in middle right. Middle right especially, that's where the ball's going to commonly go, is the middle right side of the field. Middle right, somewhere's in there, not super far over, but somewhere's in the middle right section is perfect. And by middle right, what I mean is, oh, hang on, somewhere's like around this third of the goal to this pole here, that like line right there, somewhere in this section is where you want to be sitting, because more than likely, especially if your teammate's at this deep of an angle, his ball, if he misses, it's going to bounce right off this into that section. That's why you want to be sitting there. Just sit a little further back. Play off the bounce. Do what you gotta do. Middle here. Middle is better if your teammate is making a play from here. Reason why that is, the bounce isn't going to be as severely impacted by direction. It's going to be more straight. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. If you're sitting that middle right there, I think you would have had it. Again, you just played it a little too fast. Good makeup. Good makeup. You did a good job making that up. Good job. Okay. Play this a little more carefully. Especially if the ball bounces like this. You don't want to prioritize the boost over the ball here. If that guy... Again, I'm assuming you paid attention here to that guy's kickoff. But this is something that's risky to stay under because that guy back there could already have boost by now. He could be challenging this. That's a riskier ball to go for boost on just because it's directly above you. You can't defend when you're directly under a ball. It's nearly impossible. Take the loss, go to your back left corner. It's not a huge deal. It's just one of those things I should point out. All right. I'm sure you know your mistake here. Again, you see the ball's going right, stick to the left. Let your teammate play. Your teammate is doing great. He's had great solo plays. Trust the brother, all right? Just trust him. There's no need to do that. Good thing you left him to boost. Again, don't play a solo play here. Look for your teammate. There's no need to try to play a solo play there. Okay, again, same thing. Rotate to the back post. Last time I'm mentioning that. Stick back a little more here, especially if it's that deep and you see them that stacked up in the corner. Shift to the left. Shift to the left. You're not covering much of the field here. You're just putting yourself in kind of a not a horrible spot, but not a great one. Because either way, like if your teammate loses that, you're in a 1v2. If you challenge this here and you lose, it's in your net. Versus if you're just playing a little more defense, covering, you can read that a lot easier. You can buy time for your teammate. You can do what you got to do. This just puts you in that weird spot where you have to turn around and get a very bad touch, which resulted in that. Again, it just comes down to positioning, really. Okay. You didn't need to rush this here. There's no point to rush this. Just pay attention to your enemies, right? You flex it, right? He doesn't get a good landing. There's no point to rush that. You can just take possession of that, do a flick, do an aerial, you know, use your mechanics that you have. I know you have them because I've seen you do these plays, but you just kind of, you don't take chances when you can to use them. This I don't hate. Not a bad touch. I like where you touched it. Again, though, rotate a little further back. Your teammate's doing his thing. Rotate a little further back. Make that a little less awkward for you. That's a good spot to put it, though. Corner is the best spot. Okay, again, kind of like right here. It's the same thing as earlier as I was saying to that guy over there on the other team. This is the worst defensive spot there probably is in the game besides the other person's net. Just because you run out of ground here. You can't really do much. It just left you in a tough spot, really. I don't think you would have stood a better chance either way, but it's just same thing. Just puts you in that awkward spot. Don't do this. Don't do this ever. It doesn't matter if you land like this on the kickoff. You're pretty much never going to score off of this. Because you fly back here, right? Mini route back. If your team loses possession here, which more than likely will happen, then this will happen. You need to be back. Especially after your second man cheats up. That's a very, very risky boost pad to go for. It leaves your teammate in a 1v2 for a while. Alright, this is fine. Again, don't follow underneath the ball. Just rotate back, play defense, get your mini pads. That's what you're going to need in this situation. Not a big boost, you need mini pads. They put you in this awkward spot, right? This spot could have been avoided if you just, you know, went around the ball to the other side. You know, you turn around here, my idea here is what I would do is instead of playing like you did and cutting close to the ball, rotate this way. Grab the mini pads. It puts you in a great defensive position around either here or here, and you can just challenge that ball. Way less risky for it to go into your net. Way, way less risky. And either way, even if this did happen, you should pretty much be challenging this here. This is a really risky ball to not challenge, just due to the fact if he gets that deep shot, you're gonna have a hard time saving it. Just you know, that's one of those cases where you need to play a little faster. Again, let your teammate have the ball, right? Let your teammate have the ball. You're chasing her for no reason. There's no reason for you to be here. You know, your teammate might have not gotten a great touch. Fair. Still, there's no reason for you to be here. You're covering the same area. Cover somewhere else. You're not providing much cover for him. Again, same thing as earlier, right? You want to sit opposite of your teammate, opposite side of the field, pretty much at all times. You want to be covering something else. Just a little advice here, especially considering you saw that blue guy to the right here. Keep clicking on ball cam because you do not know what can happen in this short span of time. You need to keep your eye on the play. Same thing though. Get these mini pads. Get these mini pads. You need them. You need them. Oh god, I actually hit the tilt button. Oh well, I guess we're tilting. But same thing here, right? Rotate mini pads. You're gonna have so much boost. Each of these is 12. 36 boost. 36, 72. You would have 72 by the time you got back here. Way better position than you'd be in. Way, way, way better. Alright, let's see. Back to you. Again, we're sitting in net again. Horrible spot. Sit your back post. Opposite side of your teammate. Here's a little bit of a tricky one. Here, in my eyes, I would kind of challenge this. Because my teammate just rotated back, and I would kind of catch him on the way rotating back. So I would probably just challenge this to make my life easier for my teammate. You probably won't win this, but it's just something I would do. Something to buy your teammate a little extra time to get in a better spot. Great shot by him. Great shot. What happened here on this kickoff? That's more of a side flip. That's not really a speed flip. Speed flips, your nose should be in the ground. It shouldn't look so sideways. Okay, down. Okay, this is another thing, right? It goes right here. You go right. I don't disagree with this play. I really don't, just because you're reading the bounce. It's not a bad idea. But consider your teammate is still part of the play, which they are. They are in not a great spot, but they're still in a spot for a pass. So right here, your teammate could just be waiting for it to come off the wall. Kind of like hit it with the nose of their car and pass it to you. You have a free ball here. There's no need. Right here, you're effectively challenging your teammate. There's no real reason into doing this. Oh, that's painful. Okay, so right here again, your teammate goes. You just flipped the wrong way. You gotta side flip to the left here, or you gotta aerial your car, hit it out to the right. Yeah, something. Not that. All right, here we got left. It's fine. Again, remember taking challenges in these corners are pretty risky, especially in the beginning of the match. I don't hate this. It kind of buys your teammates time, but do keep in mind if this gets hit over you, it's probably going to leave your teammate a really bad spot because your teammate, for whatever reason, he went to back right. Or not back right. He went to front right boost. Not the greatest idea from him. Okay, it went to overtime. That's fine. There's not really it. You're not speed flipping effectively, so there's really no need to speed flip here. You're kind of side flipping. You're not really speed flipping. I can sort of show you what a speed flip should look like. See what happened here? Hit a ball. Not a bad shot. I don't hate it. I like the spot you're aiming for. Right here. Perfect demo bump opportunity. Perfect. Right on the ball. You're going pretty fast. Hit them. You know, there's no point in rotating out of this play. Just bump them and then rotate out. It's free. Completely free. Okay, your teammate's probably going to turn in here. You know, remember, gotta sit that opposite side. Good 50. I like that. Let's play time here. Play a little bit of time. That's fine. Teammate should have an easy Yep. Okay. All right. That guy's probably going to jump. Yeah. Keep an eye on the other team, right? It's not that you have bad game sense. I really don't think you do. But you got to be thinking about where they are at all time. So for instance here, right? How did I know this guy was going to be there, I guess? So I seen a backflip here, and I seen this got pinched. I just seen his car flash for the middle boost. In my eyes, the logical play here would be for that guy to challenge. So you got to keep that in your mind, right? It's like, oh, this guy might challenge me. So you can see his name tag, which fair enough, you can't really react to that. You're focusing on the ball, that's fine. But it's those things you should keep in mind of where is the other team. You know, even here, I can't do it at the moment because I'm kind of on KBM and I don't know what my binds are, but you can flick off ball cam here and be like, hey, you know, where's this guy at? Where's the other team? It's very important because you could either fake challenge here, force him to go for a ball that, you know, doesn't really land beneficially for him. You could challenge and get a 50. Those are really, or you could just turn around and go back if it's such a bad touch for you. Here, I think a fake challenge probably would have been the most beneficial. It would have forced the guy to jump while also maintaining your boost a lot better and not sending you out of the play. It would also given your teammate a little bit of time to rotate back. Because your play here, it really didn't do anything. That's just unfortunate touch from your teammate. Yeah, so what are the main things I would really say for you is your defensive rotations are not good. You tend to land in the middle of the goal a lot, and I mean a lot. Like, quite a few of the times that you were defending, you especially, I think right here is a pretty good example of this. Oh my god, sorry. Please forgive my please forgive my knowledge of KBM controls. But right here is a pretty good, or no, not right here. But definitely towards the start is a very, very good instance of this. Here's right here. So right here is a very good, no, that's where you cut your teammate. Sorry. Right here. Yeah, so right here is a pretty good instance of what I'm talking about. You rotate over here, which, you know, I don't quite understand. If you go back this way, in most situations, you can get a ton of boost. You can be sitting in the best defensive spot. Right here, where do you think you're effectively covering? Because right now, you can cover probably a little bit behind you. and most of this ground in front of you. But look at the area you're effectively covering with the front of your car. You're covering this little slot. That's it. You're back here. Where are you covering? Basically everything I can see. I can cover this whole area here. You're still covering effectively the same area that you're up here, but you're defending the whole net. You're widening your gap a lot more. So much more. That's why back post rotations are crucial, especially once you get, you know, past, you know, diamond, champ. These back post rotations are absolutely crucial because it leaves you in the best defensive position possible. Is it always going to be the number one choice in every situation? No. There are so many situations where, you know, backboard defending is better. There's so many situations where, you know, maybe sitting on the wall here is the choice. It depends how your recovery is. But in these situations where you have time, you can get to this back post here. Sitting here 99% of the time is the most important defensive spot you could do. Hopefully that makes sense. Another thing is that I noticed, another positioning thing. Let's fast forward to where you are here. So, God, please excuse. Oh God. So, again, right here, you know. No, not right here. Sorry, please excuse me. I don't remember exactly what things happened when. Probably towards here. I'm gonna have to cut this a little bit, but. Let me find an exact instance of it, because I know it did happen quite a lot. This might be it. Nope. Okay, yeah, right here's a pretty good example of this. So, you have your teammate. He's up the wall here. He's going off, pinching it off that guy, right? That's fine. But in these instances like this, you want to be sitting that right side. Because especially if there's a guy there. If there's not a guy there, I can sort of understand what you're going for. But especially if there's a defender, you want to be sitting that middle right side. It's, again, crucial offensive rotations. You want to be sitting there. You want to be sitting that opposite spot. Mainly for the reason that ball goes flying. Where would you be? All right? Let's change the scenario a little bit, right? Let's say you were over here. Let's say your car's right here. Where would you be on this touch? You would probably be around here. Maybe a little further back, maybe further forward, but the same principle applies. You would be around here. What can you do around here? Beat him to the ball? Absolutely. 99% of the time, you're beating him to the ball. So it's going to go in the net. That's a goal. That's why you want to sit that opposite side. Sometimes it's not going to work out sitting opposite. Now, I'm not going to say it's the end-all be-all. There are situations where the other side is better. But my general rule of thumb and what I like to teach people is you want to sit opposite from your teammate. Eventually, you're going to be able to recognize the situations where it's not a great idea. And, you know, maybe if I do another one for you eventually, I can sort of explain those situations. But I don't think right now is a good time for this. So I think probably the three main things you should focus on is, I think your mechanics are fine. I really don't think they need much work to get to your goal, which is GC right now. I think you should leave those alone. But the one mechanic I would work on is your kickoff, especially your speed flip. Your speed flip is not that great. It's more of a barrel roll. So I would definitely look into that. Some of your speed flips were pretty okay. Some of them were were just a side flip. I would get a little more consistent with those. So I'm gonna actually show you what a proper speed flip should look like, because I don't think you're aware you're doing this wrong, and I don't think a lot of people have pointed it out to you. So let me show you what a proper speed flip should look like. Keep in mind, I'm a little rusty on this game, so it's probably not going to be perfect. But a proper speed flip should look very similar to this. Very similar. You want your nose pointed down. You want it like this. You want to be going in a straight line. Reason for that being, That's what keeps your boost effective. That's why you can boost through, is because your car's still pinned back. Versus what you're doing this. You're landing all awkwardly. It's not really a speed flip. You're landing sideways. You don't want to land sideways. You wanna be landing straight. So hopefully that makes sense. If you need me to explain that a little more over a Discord call or something, that is perfectly fine. But I suppose a little recap is in order. So again, speed flips, very important. Your positioning on offense and defense are something I would definitely hammer and focus on. Defensive side, mainly sitting that back post is going to be very, very important. I think that will get you very far on defense. Offense wise, sitting opposite of your teammate, I think that's also very important. A little note I want to add in: there are some times where you were cutting your teammate. I would definitely watch out for those, because there were times where your teammate had complete possession of the ball and there was no one on it and you just took it from him. So I'd probably look into trusting your teammate a little bit more. Another super small thing that kind of goes into the game sense category is just keep somewhat in mind where the other team is. There were times where you looked like you were kind of unaware of where your hits were going to take the ball, which is not exactly the greatest thing in the world, especially when you're playing twos. For the offensive side of things, opposite side of your teammate, super important. Oh yeah, last big thing, mini routing. You need to mini pad route more. You put yourself out of position a lot, especially when you're going for those big boosts, and that ends up you kind of panicking over to the other side. So definitely mini route on your way back to the back post or towards offense if you can. Pick up those little bit of boost pads. Remember, you need to remember something very, very crucial here. These things right here, they're nowhere near the play at all time. Nowhere near the play. That's why they're in the corners. They're riskier to go for. Will they give you more boost? Yes. Should you still get big pads? Absolutely. I'm not saying you shouldn't. But when the opportunity grants itself, you get your big pad. But otherwise, you should be mini routing. These are very important, especially in the higher levels where you want to get to, which I assume, GC3 SSL somewhere in there is probably your dream rank. So yeah, I suppose the really, really quick recap: back post rotations, mini routing, sitting opposite of your teammate and being aware where the other team is, and just work on your speed flips a little bit, especially for your kickoffs. Yeah, that's your replay review. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to DM me on Discord. I'm going to be uploading this whole thing on YouTube just so you can kind of see. I kind of wanted to give you something where you could visualize what you're doing wrong. So that's why I didn't want to do it over text. I wanted to try something different. So yeah, if anyone has any questions for me, please leave them down in the comments. Or if you guys want to correct me on something, feel free to do so in the comments. Again, my peak rank is GC2, so keep in mind that I'm not the best at the game. I'm certainly not the best at the game, but most of the things I'm speaking here, especially in this case, are very, very true. Yeah. I will talk to you all later. See ya.